So good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for listening and joining and catching later Trace Indie Coffee Conversations. They're my favorite part of the week. I'm joined today with someone I've never really met. I mean, we kind of had coffee for Indie Maven, but like never had a really deep conversation. And I love what she does. And I really want to share it with all of you. So Arianna Cruz is my guest today. Thanks for joining me.
Thanks for having me.
Yay. Okay, so let me give what she does because she's kind of amazing. So director and marketing outreach for Big Brothers Big Sisters of Central Indiana. Awesome. Operations board for Indie Maven. You know we love Indie Maven. Leslie Bailey was on earlier. And what I'm super pumped about, you are the founder of More Magazine. And I really want you to share, well, all the things, but I really want you to talk about what that is. And so people can get as excited about it as I do every time it pops in my Instagram. Cool?
Yes, thank you for saying so many nice things already. Thank you.
It sets the tone for the whole day. Who doesn't love having a conversation with women? So, okay, so tell us, what do you do? Like, what's a day or a week? Because you have a bunch of things. So what is that? What is that day for you?
Honestly, a lot of my days are just meetings, which I love. I love connecting with people. I love relationships and relationship building. So it's been really fun. And being the director of marketing and outreach is just being in the community in Indianapolis and connecting with people and really just working together to empower potential of like the kids in the community. And with the magazine, it's really cool because I'm doing similar pieces and connecting with people just like on a bigger scale. And so it's been really cool to see that grow from just Indianapolis to just nationwide. We have readers everywhere, and now we're even getting readers like across, like in different countries. It's been amazing and just been so cool to see so many different doors and opportunities come to life.
Okay, so how'd you get there, right? So, I mean, Big Brothers Big Sisters, amazing. And a little background, in our house, we love my husband and his brothers. We're part of the Big Brothers Big Sisters program in Southern Indiana. They were super fun fact. I have a magazine with them on it, but two, they were the only group that had one big with 5 biological boys. It's so cool. Great.
Oh, wow.
His big at our wedding. It's amazing. Love this organization. I think everyone should get involved. But how'd you get from there, working nonprofit to a magazine?
Yeah, so I mean, it's been kind of a wild ride, and like honestly, I feel like looking back on it, I like see a lot of those little seeds being like planted like when I was in college. And so honestly, in college, like I moved to Indianapolis, and I think the best way to get to know your community and the city is to volunteer and just be involved. And
Always say that.
so yeah, and so
Yeah.
when I was in college, I was signing up for all these different things, and I started interning with like all the nonprofits. Like that's what all my internships were. My plan after graduating from Kelly School of Business was to go straight into a nonprofit and like do the marketing and help there. And it was actually, I think it was my sophomore year. Yeah, my sophomore year, I met Long Sharp Gallery. They're also Maven members, and they honestly taught me that like you can be a for-profit business that cares about the community. And so that for me was like such a big learning moment. And so I worked with them for a really long time. They are a woman-owned all-female team, which is like amazing. And it was actually there that I started More Magazine, just kind of in my free time. I was thinking about the way I love to do design and marketing and connecting with people. And I also had modeled and switched to like the creative directing side of things. And I saw this awesome video from Girls, Girls, Girls Media, and it was talking about the juxtaposition of women and how we are expected to be glamorous but natural and like curvy but like on the thin side, and just all those different pieces of like how women can be portrayed. And I reached out to a friend who was a photographer, and I was like, I really want to do like a visual story on this. And the more we talked about it, I was like, oh, well, we should have women share their story with it. And I was like, well, that just sounds like an article with like the written piece and the visual piece coming together. And I was like, I want to do a bunch of them. And it kind of just grew into a magazine without really
Yeah.
any big forethought at the beginning, but it's been really cool. More actually came from another project I kind of wanted to start, and it was like working with parents at the Barton Center downtown. And in my mind, I was like, if I can help connect the parents to better opportunities for them, then it helps the kids. I was tutoring through School on Wheels. And so it stands for making opportunities reachable for everyone. It was really cool. My partner and I were in my apartment at the time, and I was just like trying to think of like, what do I like put a name on this? And he's like, well, you keep saying more. He's like, what if it stood for something? And like we kind of just talked through it, and like it just came together so organically. And it's been really cool to be back in that nonprofit space because we started the nonprofit neighborhood for more. And so I was connecting with all these nonprofits and offering them like free ad space, because part of making opportunities reachable for everyone is offering a space for people in the community who are doing amazing things to share what they're doing and then connect them to our audience. And so it was through that that I was like, man, I really miss just being in the community, like nonprofit space. And that's how I ended up at Big Brothers Big Sisters. So it all like kind of just came together in just the most like natural way.
Oh my gosh, I love it so much. And you named so many organizations that are so amazing in our community. It's, oh, this is how I love to start my day, hearing people do amazing things all over our city. So what have you found? And whether it's with the magazine or, I mean, we're still in a pandemic and all that, like, where have you found some struggle, but end that with, where you're finding some joy, some delight?
Yeah, I mean, so there's a few different spaces I feel like there's
Yeah.
been a struggle. So I mean, with the pandemic and with Big Brothers Big Sisters, it's been a lot of like kind of educating and like sharing. So during the pandemic, I think there was like a 50% decline in volunteer inquiries, but like the number of kids signing up has continued to stay the same, if not continue to grow. And so on that front, it's been a lot of just educating about like how you can still stay connected during this time and sharing that they have so much support. So when you become a big, I was also a big in college, you have a match support who is with you. So they're professionally trained and they help advocate for you. They help keep you and like your match on track. And then we also have a lot of other programming that allows you to just be a big. You don't have to overthink it. We have a lot of activities that you can just join. And so like that struggle has been, it's been like two-sided, kind of like you said, like the joys that you find within it, because it's been really cool to see bigs who want to step up and share their story so that other people can envision themselves as bigs. And so that's just been really inspiring, that they see the bigger picture of it and they want to help have more people feel comfortable taking that step. And with the magazine, I feel like every entrepreneur goes through this. It's like, what am I doing? Am I like in the right space right now? I will never forget the first time we did our first launch in October 2020, and we just launched digitally, and everyone was like, we really want a hard copy. And so I was like, all right, like the people want what they want and I'm going to get it. And so I worked with a female owned print shop, and we got the hard copies delivered. And so it's like the night before, I had like gone through like shipping easy to like get set up to like get everyone's orders out. And I was in our guest room with the printer. I had all these magazines laid out. Like I did handwritten notes to everybody, and like everything is together. I just have to print these shipping labels. And so I'm printing them, and I'd already paid for X amount of shipping. And I realized I put the wrong date on it. And my friend who was with me through it, she was like videoing it because we were just so excited. She's like, this is the moment. And like I hit print and I hit buy. And it was in that same moment that she was recording that I was just like, this is the wrong date for shipping. And so it was just like so funny. But I look back at it now and I was like, I could have just like refunded everyone and like just gave up in that moment.
But you didn't.
And I didn't. And it was so cool because I mean, I called like USPS and I was like, please help me. And like we got through it and it was fine. But it was after everyone got their orders, I got DMs from different girls and they were just sharing, like, I tore this article out and I keep it in my purse. And like that was amazing. And I feel like through the magazine, it's been so cool because I come up with some of these topics because I'm just like, I feel this way. Like in our last issue, we had one over financial literacy and the impact on first generation women. And I'm a first generation woman. And I just know my financial literacy understanding is different than somebody else's.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I kind of want to talk about this, but I don't know. Maybe it's just like me. Maybe I should have asked more questions. And so I brought it up with like this group I'm in. It's like women of color seeking fire. And I was like, would anyone be interested in like sharing their story, or is this like really relevant at all? And like hundreds of women like commented on it, and like it was just so wild. And so it's really incredible to be sharing these stories and voices of other people, and then hearing that like other people thought they might have been alone and feeling that way, and then providing like education and like inspiration, and then like their call to action for what they can do next.
It's so good. You're literally doing, I mean, I feel like I am going to die on this hill that men don't share things. And I probably said this in hundreds of other conversations that I've had, and some of these recorded, but women don't share the mud. Like, we don't share the messy, we don't share the ugly. And I think that we are so empowered by doing so, right? We wait, especially, you know, being in male dominated fields. I work in tech in my day job, and you know, hearing those heroes' journeys of, oh, it was here and then I was bad for a moment and then I was successful. But there's a lot of women still in the mud. Like, I'm in the mud, and I hear other women's stories and I want to connect. And I think that is, I think that that is our superpower, right? The ability to connect and support as women. And it's so beautiful. And I love that you're doing it. And I hope that everyone here follows you, because it's just so good. I love all of your content. I think it's wonderful. So saying that, and how can the community show up? Like, what do you need?
I mean, with Big Brothers Big Sisters, we need volunteers. We have, right, last time I checked, I think it was like end of last week, we have just over 1,300 kids on the wait list right now, which is insane. And so if you are at all interested in becoming a big, or just want to know more, like, send me a message. Go to bebig4kids.org/volunteer. There's frequently asked questions. There's my email. There's my team's email. Like, we will help you get to that next step and help reassure you. With the magazine, I mean, sharing it out is honestly like the best thing, because if it resonates with you, it's going to resonate with somebody else. And so the more people we can connect to it, just the better. Because I mean, no one wants to feel alone. And when you find that there's this community, and like just even just one other person out there who like feels the same way, like that gives me courage to like ask more about something I don't know.
I love it. So can people still, if we link to all that, can people still get a copy of the magazine?
Yes. Yes.
Awesome. Okay. Super exciting. And then, you know, it's the big question. It's my favorite. I know everyone makes it. It's the best, but it's so important, because I think women need to talk legacy. And I think we need to think about legacy, right? And so how are you, Arianna Cruz, going to leave a trace?
Well, it's really funny because I just had like a girls' dinner this weekend, and I really love bringing my friends from like different parts of my life together. So I had my best friend from first grade, I had my best friend from college, a friend that I've met more recently through my partner that we've just really bonded. And so I asked them all to just share like how we met. So that way everyone would kind of just know each other a bit more. And I love them. Most of my friends, their love language is words of affirmation. And so they started sharing like what they loved about me. And it was so eye-opening for me, and kind of helped me to not have to think about this question so hard. But they all shared that I like push them a bit. And with the magazine, I mean, it kind of comes full circle, because when I started it, I wanted it to be for people who wanted more for themselves, and more for the people they love, and more for their community. And so the trace that I hope I leave on Indy is just that desire to continue reaching and striving and wanting more and demanding more for yourself, and like asking for what you need to keep your peace and what you need to continue growing. And if I could do that, that would just be chef's kiss.
Asking what you need to keep your peace. I think we just put that on a t-shirt. That'd be amazing. I love it so much. I am so grateful for you and for what you do in our community, both with Big Brothers Big Sisters and with More Magazine. And I'm grateful for you taking some time today. I know you just had to squeeze me in, and I'm so grateful. But thank you for joining, and thank you for sharing your trace with us.
Thank you, Jillian. Thank you for having me, and thank you for sharing the stories that you do as well.